interdict 3 teachers across the country following riots in some senior high schools in ongoing.
Effective tomorrow, Saturday, 8th August 2020.
And also, is always brought to you by Gas Simpson, and the Nation Build and Vodafone. The future is exciting. Ready.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
In the last few minutes, the Ghana Education Service has issued a strongly worded statement announcing a raft of swift action against a host of students and teachers across the country found to be involved in the riots that had engulfed many schools in the wake of the WASSCE examinations yesterday. In one case in the eastern region, the Bright Senior High School, WAEC officials were injured. They were attacked. A journalist was left bloodied and had to get medical attention. In the last few minutes, we're learning of actions including dismissal of students who are again going to be barred from writing the examination. Some teachers themselves have also been affected. National security is taking over some of the probe as well. My colleague Ernest Menu joins me with a copy of the statement issued and signed by the Director General. Let's start with this. Let's lay out what sanctions the Ghana Education Service is imposing on the students.
So it says that to serve as a deterrent and to ensure that life and property are protected in the schools, the following actions have been taken. 1. The following students have been dismissed from the schools and barred from writing the current examinations in the school. A. Nicholas Kobner, Kadmil Swapim, John Kofi, all of Secondary College. And Secondary College is one of the schools where we had a student protesting, some of them using very, very harsh words against the president and school authorities. B. Simon Ameibo, who is the senior prefect of Chenebua Kodia Senior High School. Also in that school, you have Thomas Anoche and Miss Juliet Amwakua, all of Chenebua Senior High School. Now, C, you have Emmanuel Ashiamo, Peter Sisi, Ameka Nyamiche, Shadrach Daite, and Alfred Ahito of Baton Senior High School. D, Solomon Brako, Albert Ejekum, and Robert Inkum of Drabin Senior High School. And so that is for the students who have been barred from writing the current examination in their various schools, Evans.
So there's a total number of students,
14 in all,
of them,
and they are to leave the various school compounds forthwith.
Okay, so immediately, so we don't expect to see them on campuses as of tonight. And the important thing to notice that they have not only been dismissed, they cannot write the examinations as well.
That is so.
Such a hefty sanction to hand down, of course. But from what we've seen, really, the questions about whether it's a justified sanction, clearly from the Ghana Education Services point, this is a clear case of indiscipline, and they have to lay down the marker and create a deterrent, which is why this has been imposed on the students. And so, if you're just joining us tonight, 14 students. Really across the country. With Secondary College, there is a Chenebua Kodia
Senior High School.
So for Secondary College, there are 4. There are 3.
There are 3 in Secondary College. You have 3 also in Chenebua Kodia Senior High School, and then you have in Bator Senior High School, which we really never heard of. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many as 5 in Bator Senior High School, and then in New Drabin you have 3 also. All male in that school.
You have to leave the compound forthwith. That's not all, though, but there are further sanctions against the students.
Yes, so it says all students who are in schools where destruction of school property occurred are to be surcharged the full cost of the damage. Results of these students will be withheld till they have paid fully the full cost of the items destroyed. And earlier today we heard from the Indira Japa Senior High School as well that those students indeed will be made to pay the full cost. It won't just apply to them, but in every school where you have some form of distraction, the student will be made to pay the full cost. And Evans, you know that when you're out of school, there's a way you can assess your results even without going into the online system. The GES is saying that your results will be withheld. You will not be able to have access to it, and that will have consequences for you furthering your education. And so you will need to pay the full cost before you can have access to that system.
There are some teachers who are also tonight affected by the swift sanctions imposed by the GES.
And it starts from the Trinidad Senior High School. One Thomas Anoche, Joseph Andor, and also Joseph Andor is with Sekendi College, and we have Evans Mensah of Kede Senior High School. 3 of them have been sanctioned. They are being directed to the security agencies, and these teachers are they are first of all being interdicted and barred from the invigilation of the exam which is ongoing.
Okay.
And then they are to comply with the security agencies as far as the investigations are
concerned. So security agencies have possibly picked them up already.
Absolutely.
On this. We're trying to get the Ghana Education Service to clarify that for us tonight. But the GS doesn't stop there.
It doesn't stop there. It says that
there's some further.
Yes, all acts of vandalism and other criminal acts should be reported to the security agencies for further investigation and follow-up action. Management is also informed that the examination center at Bright Academy, a private school at Kukrantumi in the eastern region, has been derecognized and moved to Ofoepenian Senior High School.
Okay.
And yesterday, Evans, you followed this thoroughly. We had a lot of teachers, WAEC officials being attacked by the students. Now that school is no longer a center. All the students are being moved now to Ofoepenian Senior High School to sit the rest of the papers.
Okay.
And management of GES welcomes Bright Academy to Ofoepenian Senior High School compound to write the examination and serves notice that the activities are expected to conform to the rules and regulations of the school. Any act of indiscipline will not be countenanced.
Okay. Thank you very much. As we've been learning, one of the most serious of the riots happened in the Bright Senior High School, which is why it reserves a special place in the GES statement. We know the proprietor of the school has now also been arrested after allegedly instigating students to vandalize school property and attack invigilators. In other developments, 365 final year students of the Indera Jakpa Senior High Technical School in Damongo are to pay a bill of not less than 1,000 Ghana cedis for repairs of the damages caused to the school property. This comes after properties like dining hall furniture, a new 6-unit classroom block, and a master's bungalow, including furniture in the examination hall and louver blades, were all torched and vandalized in the protest of what they say is because of strict invigilation. We will speak to WAEC shortly, and I'm grateful that Agnes Kujo, head of PR with WAEC, is on the telephone line with me. Madam Tekujo, thank you for your time.
Hello, good evening.
I'm grateful that you could join us. Let's just get a quick update on the ground in the Bright Senior High School. My colleague Kofi Siao has been there all day. So, Kofi, what's the latest on the proprietor for Bright Senior High School arrested earlier today?
Okay, Evans, the man was arrested, Mr. Bright Amponsa, in the morning between 9 a.m. and 10, and he was sent, before we were thinking he had been sent to the Koforidua Regional Police Command, but later we found out that he's been taken to the Achim Tafo District Police Command. So what is happening now is that the man's statement has been taken after the WAEC officials lodged a complaint against him. And before I left Safo this afternoon, he had been granted bail by the police. So he's now returned to the school compound.
Thank you very much, Kofi, for that. I'm going to bring in Agnes Tekujo with WAEC. Madam Tekujo, please tell me, how are your officers and officials faring? Some of them we know were injured. We saw them pretty bloodied yesterday, particularly in the Bright Senior High School. How are they faring?
Well, our officers who were attacked yesterday at the Bright Senior High School are doing well. Yesterday they went to the hospital for treatment. So So they are doing well, even though they are still nursing the injuries.
Great. And is that the only place in the country where you've had such casualty?
Yes, that is the only place that we have recorded such casualties.
We've just been told and confirmed by the GS as well. You also issued a statement that you have now moved the students to the for repaying. How will that work for students who may be listening, parents pretty worried about that? Well, how will that work for these students and the examinations?
Well, what is going to happen from tomorrow is that the candidates will go to Oforipaying for their papers. You know, we have some papers that will be written on Saturday. So tomorrow there's a paper. So the candidates are expected to report there for the paper. Now, with the practical papers, because of with the time limit that we had a little issue in getting the laboratories where they could write the practical paper, because tomorrow there's Physics 3 practical alternative C, you know, and we could not get a center that they could use, a laboratory where that they could use for the physics paper. So tomorrow we have allowed them, the candidates who are supposed, we have about 85 of them, who are supposed to take the Physics 3 practical paper, to still take that paper at their school under strict supervision, and we have also requested for extra police security to be there. So they will be taking the practical paper at their school, but all the other theory papers, tomorrow we have some Ghanaian language papers that will be taken at Oforipaying Senior High School.
I mean, this is just out of curiosity. I mean, we've all written examinations before on the WAEC. All these complaints from the students about invigilation being too strict, supervision is too strict. Has WAEC changed your rules at all because this year, or is the same thing that we've all been used to?
We haven't changed the rules at all. These are the same rules that have been applied over the years. The only difference is that this year, because of the COVID-19, and then they need to put in some social distancing protocols, we asked that the distance between one candidate's desk and the other be increased from 1.4 meters to 1.5 meters. So that is the only extra thing that we have done. But all the necessary measures, all the supervision, all the invigilation rules and regulations are the same. So it's a bit surprising for us that candidates and some school authorities are behaving in this manner.
I mean, you've been at the WAEC for quite a while. Have you seen anything on this scale before?
No, I haven't. I mean, I cannot readily recall any incident like that where candidates have gone on a rampage, where a headmaster or a proprietor of a school has asked candidates to come out of an example and to beat, you know, WAEC officers who are there to monitor the center, to smash their phones. We've not had our staff being beaten up and hurt in that manner before. The incident that I can recall is, I think in 2005, where our staff who was on inspection at a center seized phones of candidates, and then they attacked him, and then they beat him up, and then he died. He was lynched and died. That was in 2005. That is why we named one of our halls as Sechafarminaku Hall in Cantonment to immortalize his memory. But I think after that, we haven't had such an incident there at any center like that before.
You must then, I guess, be glad that the GS has reacted this way. Very, very severe sanctions you have announced tonight. 14 of the students dismissed, teachers interdicted, barred from writing examinations. This just came in as we had called you. What's your brief reaction to this?
I think that the action of the GES is very laudable, and I think that this should send strong signals to all candidates who are writing this year's examination, school authorities. And I'll say that it's unfortunate that we are recording these incidents in a few schools. We have over 900 plus schools taking part in this year's examination. And I think the situation has been calm in most of these places. So it's unfortunate that these incidents have been recorded in these few schools. And we are very glad that the Ghana Education Service has come out with these sanctions, which we believe should serve as a deterrent to others.
I'm grateful, Agnes Tekujo, and she speaks for the West African Examination Council. On the line with me right now is the president of the largest teacher union, NAT, the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Madam Philippa Lassing. Madam Lassing, thank you for your time here on Top Story. When I last spoke to you a couple of days back, you were demanding swift action and sanctions against these students who are threatening some of your members. As we speak tonight, the GS has dismissed 14 students. The criminal bit has been handed over to national security. They have also been barred from writing examinations. Your reaction?
Thank you very much, Evans. Let me say good evening to you and to your cherished listeners. Evans, the sanctions or the punishment that have been applied to these perpetrators is in the right direction, and I'm happy as an individual, because as a country, there should be sanity and discipline in the system. And so I think I'm happy with this, and it will not end here. One thing that I'm even looking at is the fact that they are barred from writing this current examination, meaning that next year they can write. Other times people are barred for a number of years. So this is okay. I'm happy.
Okay, great. But also, 3 teachers, Tweniboa Kodria, a teacher there, Secondary College, 1 teacher, Kede Senior High School, another teacher, 3 teachers in all have also been interdicted and barred from invigilating. Possibly these may be your members, possibly maybe NAGRAT members, but is this something that you welcome too?
You see, Evans, the issue about indiscipline, dishonesty, and the rest that are criminal have to be punished. And irrespective of who the perpetrator is, that person will have to face the full length or rigors of the law. And so whether the person is a candidate or a teacher, I believe that definitely some investigations might have been conducted. And if it has come out that our members who are teachers are part of the problem, we have code of conduct and the rules will have to apply. And so if they have been interdicted, it means they have not been dismissed. It is pending investigations. Depending on the outcome of the investigation, maybe the final decision will be taken on these teachers or invigilators.
I mean, are these, I don't know whether you know if any of these are your members?
No, I don't know. The important thing is that they are teachers, they are invigilators, they are Ghanaians who should know the right thing, and for that matter should be able to do the right thing.
I'm also curious, I mean, with all that is unfolding, is this something that is unusual? Is this unprecedented? Have you seen it in your time as a teacher and a leader of a teacher union?
Well, Evans, this is the first time I'm hearing and seeing these things. Sometimes people make allegations, make statements that are not backed by any evidence. But for this one, we saw videos of candidates saying things against the president, brutalizing teachers and invigilators, destroying properties of the schools. As for the teachers that have been interdicted, there is no video to show, but I believe that the GES has conducted some investigations. And probably because they have not finished, that is why they have been interdicted. Pending the investigation, until the investigations are over, then they will be able to take the right decisions and the final decisions on them. So to be honest with you, we are all shocked at the things we are seeing and hearing, and it is not the best. So that is why I'm happy that the GES has taken action against these students and the teachers and the invigilators so that there will be sanity in the system.
Madam Philippa Lassing, I'm grateful that you could join us with your thoughts on this, on the unfolding developments in some of our schools, senior high schools, writing the WASI. I want to bring in now the ranking member on the Education Committee in Parliament, Mr. Peter Nochu, joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Nochu, so on the night when we were, of course, all learning of a lot of disturbances, there have been real action by GS tonight in sanctioning students, dismissing them, barring them from writing exams, teachers as well. From the Education Committee's point of view, have these incidents come to your attention, and have you taken any interest at all in trying to establish what is happening and how the committee could assist in resolving them?
Thank you very much. We have been following events not as a committee as such, because the matter is within the domain of the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education. I had the opportunity of talking with the Director General this morning on what measures the GES was taking to make sure that this did not continue. And he promised that they were going to take swift actions by the close of the day. So that's what you have just announced.
What do you make of the action they're taking?
Yeah, to a large extent, it is important that these actions are taken. Otherwise, the rate at which this is spreading, or this indiscipline is spreading into various schools, will not be managed. So I think they have taken the action. But the only first sort of telling us, I don't know if it will form part of the investigations, why the students have behaved this way.
Well, the students have told us they mostly are unhappy with the strict invigilation that was being administered by WAEC, and so they've attacked some WAEC officials. In Tamale, a teacher was threatened. He and his family, he had to go into hiding. That's what the students have claimed.
Yes. So that's why I'm also saying that that should have formed the preamble to the actions taken by the GES to explain these things to us more into detail. But the actions taken are necessary, because if we don't do that, the tendency that the others will follow is very high. But the point is, again, to make is that what next are they going to do? Is there going to be any further investigations so that if there are any problems or challenges that are inherent in this, we will unearth them and then solve them once and for all. So for now, it is okay. The actions are necessary. They have taken them. And I think they should go beyond this, carry out more investigations, and then let the public know what steps to take again.
I mean, and I wonder, we've had one case where a headmaster was directly involved. Not only involved, he was instigating very openly the students' attack on WAEC officials. And as you've seen, 3 teachers in 3 schools across the country have also now been interdicted. I mean, that tells you that, yes, the students were at fault in some cases, but those who were supposed to be role models to these children were themselves, at least in the case of the allegedly, involved in directly aiding, abetting, encouraging such deviant behavior.
Yes, in fact, the role played by the teachers and then that of the headmaster or the head of the institution, in fact, baffles me a lot, because they should rather have restrained the students from misconducting themselves. But if they aided them, I think it's condemnable. It's very offensive, and the necessary punishment or sanctions should be applied. I don't have any problem with that, because they are the role models that the students should emulate. But if they rather encourage such indisciplined behaviors of the children, I think it is not good enough. So the sanctions, I agree, they are necessary to correct or to prevent any other person from committing same offenses.
Mr. Nochu, grateful. Does the committee have any plans of looking into this, getting a better understanding of this to see how you can assist going forward?
Yeah, we hope to do so. Throughout the week, the committee has been very busy on a number of bills before it. We just closed from taking one of the bills, and when we come next week at our meeting, we are going to look at it and then ask for the minister to come and brief the committee on the steps being taken by the GES and the Ministry of Education.
And that is Peter Notru. He is the ranking on the Education Committee in Parliament. If you're just joining us, the Ghana Education Service is tonight dismissing, in fact, has dismissed 14 students from senior high schools, in some senior high schools across the country. Now, these students are to leave the various school compounds immediately. They've also been barred from writing the ongoing WASI examinations. All the students are in these schools where distraction had happened to school property are to be surcharged for the full cost of the damage. Results of these students will be withheld till they have fully paid up the full cost of the items destroyed. Now, some 3 teachers have also been interdicted and barred from invigilating. Of course, and this will happen until they will stay on interdiction until the investigations are complete. This a teacher in Chenebo Akodria, one in Secondary College, and then Kede Senior High School. Their cases have been referred to the security agencies for further investigations. Now, also, all acts of vandalism and other criminal acts should be reported to the security agencies for further investigations and follow-up actions. And that's the directive that the GS has issued tonight to its schools across the country. I want to hear from you on Newsnight on this. If you're a parent or you're driving and listening to this and you have something to say about the development, send me a WhatsApp, 0244340437. Now, remember, isn't it amazing when your network cares about you so much that they do amazing things for you? You guessed it. I'm talking about the Vodafone Cash dropping all charges when you send money to all networks. Yes, you had it right. It costs nothing. Absolutely nothing when you send money via Vodafone Cash to all networks. Just send any amount as many times as you want to any network and pay 0 charges on the money sent. So go ahead, make payment, show your love, make contributions, send money. All you want via Vodafone Cash to all networks for free. Dial *110# to send cash for free. Ready.
55, 78, 58, 70. Hey, Charlie, my network is really killing me. On Vodafone Cash to all other networks is now absolutely free. Send unlimited amounts of money as many times as you like for free. Just dial *110# now to send money.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Hey, I say, mix the cement in correct proportional.
Hey, contractor.
Hey, what can you? What's your soul?
Yeah, Malande. Sorry, I say. When you attend the year of return, Ankasa. Hey, contractor. A danya wasting ye. Hey, what push mama me feel it too much?
Who project here? Me friend a gas them from top to down. If you are a gas them.
Hey, yes, solid pa.
Hey, you see gas them, man. If for soup no what do? On your quality no question. Extra gas them cement biara. I will cook a crab bee. Over 5,000 plus communities. And a gas them. I donations. SCC schools, I built a clinic. Now, when a packaging now, what's Shadara and environmentally friendly?
Never compromise on quality. Choose the value Gassam offers you always. Gassam, the nation builder.
It's 25 years of media excellence. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Newsnight. And coming up in the next 30 minutes, no new register in the foreseeable future. Electoral Commission declares, as it argues, it is on course to deliver a credible election with the trusted database of Ghanaians 18 years and above.
This commission has said that this is going to be the last time where we are going to compile a register, a mass register like this. And even beyond that, the commission is anticipating that in future register compilation, that when we are adding people onto it, everyone will come with an identity document.
We have reactions from the political parties as we count down to the much anticipated minority political parties and independent candidates debate. We introduce you to the welder, independent presidential hopeful with ambitions to take Ghana back to its roots.
Now the political party have divided Ghana into two. We need an independent person who can be able to bring Ghanaians together.
President Akufo-Addo charges newly sworn-in Court of Appeal judges to exhibit honesty, possess integrity, and a sound knowledge of the law to command the respect of the public.
Application of the laws of the land must occur without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and therefore without recourse to the political, religious, or ethnic affiliation.
And later in the bulletin,
this guy just changed, said it's over. And I said, who is this person? And he said, it's the girl that braids your hair. I nearly died.
She told me she's pregnant for me. I just found out from the mom that someone has come to perform knocking or something. Almost 3.5 years now.
And that's how it feels to get a broken heart. We'll hear some experiences of callers on the Super Morning Show. Why don't you share yours also with me? 0244340437. You're live on your election headquarters. Tonight, the Electoral Commission has declared it will not compile a new register in the foreseeable future. Deputy Chairperson Dr. Bosman Asari says the data from the just ended mass registration is credible and a reflection of Ghanaians that they have attained the age of 18 and above have managed to indeed register. The EC faced stiff opposition from the National Democratic Congress and some civil society groups as they served notice of discarding the register used for the 2012 elections. The EC says it has so far registered a little over 16 million Ghanaians, which is in line with estimate from the Statistical Service on eligible voters.
Had the Commission maintained the old register and conducted a limited registration exercise in all electoral areas and registration centers across the country, we would have estimated to conservatively, that's at a minimum, add about 2 million Ghanaians onto the existing register. And I know this is basic mathematics. 16.8 plus 2 million will give us what? 18.8. So what we are saying is that without the compilation of the new voters register, the Commission was on track to register some 90 million people plus another 800,000 people who remain on the multiple list. This would have given us a total number of almost 19.6 million persons. Approximately 20 million had we maintained the old register and done the limited registration, as compared to the current figure of 16.63 million. Some 3 million difference. With the compilation of this register, those on the duplicate exception list from 2012 have had the opportunity to also register. And still the Commission is well within about 52%, 53% of Ghana's population. In conclusion, the Commission's objective of ensuring a credible register is on track. With an estimated population of 31 million Ghanaians, many experts will agree that a voter population between 50% to 55% of the total population for a country in sub-Saharan Africa like Ghana is completely acceptable.
Well, that is Dr. Bosman Asari there, a Deputy Commissioner at the EC. Well, he also indicated today that the EC doesn't anticipate to register on the scale again in the foreseeable future.
This commission has said that this is going to be the last time where we are going to compile a register, a mass register like this. And even beyond that, the commission is anticipating that in future register compilation, that when we are adding people onto it, everyone will come with an identity document, which is the passport and the Ghana card. So that's why we want to do everything possible. The duplication process has been triggered. We want to make sure that all those who don't qualify to be on the roll are removed. We are doing everything possible to ensure that we have a register that is very credible, so that we won't come back to Ghanaians and say we are going to do that. But this commission has made that point very clear, that we are only going to be adding on to this particular register. So no new register, at least in the next foreseeable future.
Well, we're also hearing now from the CEO of Imani Africa, in fact, the president of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, and they've been, of course, one of those very vocal in opposing the EC's decision to compile a new voters register. Mr. Kujo says the EC's analysis backing the new register is unfounded. He spoke to Araba Kumsi on Election Brief on the Joy News channel.
The permutations made by the EC justifying the need for this new register is unfounded, because if you look carefully, the rate of increase has always been pretty consistent since 2012, since we went biometric. So it is not true that they are giving all this credence to the fact that there was a need, there should have been a need for a register. The statistics bear us out. Even his claim that almost 53%, which is a departure of 56% under the previous rule, if we took into consideration the fact that there was a pandemic, the registration days in itself was reduced from the usual 40 to almost how many days? About 5 more days. The projections they have is pretty much what we'd have expected anyway. So there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever that there is some sudden, abrupt, unexpected, and inexplicable events leading to this inflation situation. It really doesn't bear the evidence doesn't bear it as at all. If you do an analysis of the data, you see that it's pretty much consistent, which is why we're saying that it was needless to have conducted this whole exercise, really.
But Dr. Bosman-Asare also makes the point that this will be the last mass register to be compiled. I mean, you've had cause to doubt the credibility of the rule, even with all the assurances they've given. But from where you stand, has all that is required been done to ensure that we don't go back to compiling another register when a new government, for example, assumes office?
First of all, this register was obtained under duress, under all the state's power, almost all the 3 arms of government. In a way, managed to suppress the process. I mean, managed to arrange the process in such a way that people who had legitimate cards were excluded. Now, if you realize that almost 40% of the rule is made out of people who were vouched for, and Codios data that almost 30% of the registration centers have dubious guarantors, it beggars belief why anybody would think that this register is so credible. I mean, you went on saying that the old register is not credible because people had ineligible cards, but you were willing to have almost 30% of your polling stations, resulting in almost 40% of your own data of guarantors, of guaranteed voters, whose fidelities are dubious at this stage. So the point really is that it doesn't lie in the mouth of the EC to be saying that they've done a yeoman's job, and so there'll be no need for any mass registration in the future. I submit, and in my view, really, that what was sought to be obtained, a credible register, is not.
And that is President of Imani Africa there, Franklin Kujo, and the EC is providing additional details that breaks down the data for us when it comes to the registration that just ended. One of the most interesting figures emerging from the breakdown is the sheer number of people who actually registered using the Ghana card, which was one of the most controversial issues going into the registration. So 60.33% of all those who registered used the Ghana card as the primary identification document. That is 60.33%. Now, the guarantor system, again, one of those very controversial processes that was criticized, and I recall civil society groups, including CDD, raising issues about the extent of that particular process, where one person could could vouch for as many as 10 people. It turns out that 37.76% of people who are currently on this new register got onto the register through the guarantor system. That is 37.76%. For the passport, only 1.91% of people registered using the passport as a primary document, and so that gives you a sense of how many people really, out of the 16 million people plus, how many people got there using the Ghana card. 60.33%, 37.76% guarantors who got there, through the guarantor system, and 1.91%. Another interesting thing to observe is the challenge system. That is, if you believe somebody is not qualified to get onto the role, as in the person is a minor or isn't a Ghanaian, which has become the basis for a lot of violence at the registration centers, you pick a challenge form. So the EC is giving us a breakdown how many people had this challenge form picked about them. So the challenge, the challenge applications, there were 30,462 challenge applications. And this, of course, is going to be heard by a committee and decided. 30,462 challenge applications. This represents 0.20% of the total number of people registered. To be very specific about the role we will have now, and this is going to be an exhibition to try and clean this going forward. And so, as of now, provisionally, the number of people the EC have registered is 16,663,699 people in all. And if you look at the breakdown, Greater Accra has the largest number of course, registrants, that is at 3.3 million people, followed by the Ashanti region with 2.9 million. And then you see, for example, regions like the Western region with 1.1 million. You see Northern with 1 million plus. Volta region has 920,309 people registering. Very interesting details there that the Electoral Commission has provided. So listening to News Night on Joy 99.7 FM.
The countdown to December 7 is on. The general election is about you, the people, and the real issue. The Imani Center for Policy and Education and your election headquarters bring you the minor political parties and independent candidates election debate live on Joy News, Joy 99.7 FM, and across our digital platforms. Send your questions ahead to info@ibanighana.org. Let your voices be heard. The minor political parties and independent candidates election debate is brought to you by the Imani Center for Policy and Education and your election headquarters.
And we are now 6 days to that much anticipated debate is brought to you by Imani Center for Policy and Education and, of course, your election headquarters, the multimedia group. The minority political parties and independent candidates debate comes up live from the campus of the UPSA, the University of Professional Studies. It's on the 13th of August from 8 p.m. Ahead of the first in the two-part debate, we'll be introducing you to the independent candidates expected to lock horns. Tonight, I introduce you to the welder who wants to be president. Well, Onipayede Osamte.
My name is Onipayede. I'm a welder by profession. And then I think since things became difficult for me, I started doing this research about how things must be able to go well for Ghana in particular. And then later I see that no, we need to break away from our colonial mentality and then take on the battle of our
So you're a welder?
Yeah, I'm a welder.
What kind of work do you do? What kind of things do you weld?
I fabricate. I used to fabricate metal, all sorts of this welding shop.
Okay, yeah. So like, did you work this morning? Did you go to work this morning?
Yeah, why not?
So this morning you were in the
shop.
Where's your shop?
Oh, my shop is at, I have two shops. One is at Accra here and then Eastern region.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you weld cars and you do fabrication?
No. I do fabrication.
Okay.
I don't do the auto work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. So you decided to become president.
Yes.
Why not on the political party's ticket?
Yeah, one thing we have to know is this. Now the political party have divided Ghana into two. It's either you are NDC and people label you as you are from this region, or NPP and then they know that you are from this region. I think it's time we have to come together. We need an independent person who can be able to bring Ghanaians together. And that is the reason why I decided not to join any political party.
So how differently would he have dealt with the outbreak of the coronavirus in Ghana, for instance?
See, maybe help can be able to do it. As I'm talking to you, I'm supposed to move this, and then because of COVID, I cannot move it. And this is a security trick. Anyway, because when I come here and I put on these things, and maybe something happens, it will be difficult for you to identify me. You see?
So you think we shouldn't wear nose masks?
No, I'm not condemning those because we don't have the vaccine, we don't have the cure now. So what I'll do as a president first is I need to break away the monopoly in the health system. The healthcare supposed to have they're supposed to be autonomous, and then the orthodox healthcare. We cannot bring the healthcare under the orthodox healthcare.
I was asking about the 42,000 people who have lost their jobs. And what is your solution for them?
The solution now is if you get the cure now, you have the solution. If you don't get the cure and then you are giving them,
you invest in herbal health.
Yeah, I invest in herbal medicine to solve the problem once and for all. So that everybody can be able to go on his job, and then we have our liberty.
So that's the welder, and he's seeking to be president. Of course, he's an independent presidential hopeful, Onipayede Osamte, and the 5 others who will be part of the interrogation and the debate next week, Thursday. Very interesting views there. This, of course, is your election headquarters.
The countdown to December 7th is on. The general election is about you, the people, and the real issue. The Imani Center for Policy and Education and your election headquarters bring you the minor political parties and independent candidates election debate live on Joy News, Joy 99.7 FM, and across our digital platforms. Send your questions ahead to info@ibanigana.org. Let your voices be heard. The minor political parties and independent candidates election debate is brought to you by the Imani Center for Policy and Education and your election headquarters.
A few of your messages here on Newsnight. Politics is leading the whole world into distraction. That's from Justice in the Volta region. Abdul says, when you deliberately disable the teachers from taking disciplinary action against students, these are the type of students you produce, so I'm not surprised that this has happened. Dr. Abedi Kwadaso, aka Inrono, says, thank God 14 students who were engaged in acts of indiscipline during WIAC's integrated science paper have been dismissed from their schools. We can't live in a country where our young people have no regard for authority. That's a view there expressed by Dr. Abedi. This one from James says, Evans, the students who have been sacked just portray their schools as schools always involved in examination or practice such as cheating. Thank God my former school called Laura SHS is not part and will not be part. This one has no name, but it says the nation pays your fees, feed you, pay your exams fees, and you pay the initiator, the president, with insults. Very bad. A few of your thoughts there on our social media pages. Still ahead, President Akufo-Addo charges newly sworn-in Court of Appeal judges to exhibit honesty. They should also possess integrity and sound knowledge of the law so they can command the respect of the public.
Application of the laws of the land must occur without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and therefore without recourse to the political, religious or ethnic affiliation.
And later in the bulletin,
this guy just changed, said it's over. And I said, who is this person? And he said, it's the girl that braids your hair. I nearly died.
She told me she's pregnant for me. I just found out from the mom that someone has come to perform knocking or something. Almost 3.5 years now.
Now that's how it feels to get a broken heart. We'll hear some experiences of callers onto the Super Morning Show. And then later, the live Champions League game is here. Stay with us.
So everyone says I'm a Kosia filler, but it's not like I'm nosy or go out to find out the latest filler. It's just that I get 50 megabytes of data free after paying for only the first minute of every call, and so I just keep discovering stuff minute after minute. That's how come I was minding my business, scrolling through my timeline, and I found out Coco has a new baby. Oh, and last week, I learned Ken won the lottery. You see, Ken is my brother's friend. So, hello. Look who's about to roll with the rich and famous.
Enjoy even more value with MTN Free After One. You only pay for the first minute of your call on MTN Free After One, and the rest is free. Plus, you enjoy free 50 megabytes worth of data to browse your favorite sites. Compare where, compare there. So dial *315# to sign up. We day for you everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply.
We give you nothing but the best. We stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Boost and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Boost and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
We know it's important to create a productive and supportive working environment by investing in your employees' health. With a leading international track record, Apex Health Insurance is regulated and licensed by the National Health Insurance Authority to provide medical insurance services to institutional clients, families, and individuals. Apex Student Package and International Medical Solutions are all here to cushion you. Visit Apex Health Insurance Office at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shiashi, or call
0501-683-914
or 0232-000-015. In Kumasi, we are located opposite Prempeh College, Sofo Line, and in Takrady, Apex Health, your preferred health insurer.
Puma Drinks, ready to add flavor to your life? Puma Drinks, bursting with so many flavors, you just can't have enough.
Yeah, so live here on Newsnight, it's on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, President Akufo-Addo has charged newly sworn-in Court of Appeal judges to exhibit honesty, possess integrity, and a sound knowledge of the law to command the respect of Ghanaians. The newly appointed justices, comprising 4 men and 2 women, Justice George Kumsing, Justice Edward Amako Asante, Justice Dovisi Efua Ayene, Justice Eric Barr, Justice Richard J. Frimpong, and Justice Cynthia Pamela Akotwa-Addo. The President called on the new justices of the Court of Appeal to ensure a judiciary that commands the respect of the people.
It is vitally important that we have judges who are honest, possess integrity, and a sound knowledge of the law. Know your case law and ensure your decisions and judgments are properly motivated in accordance with the principle of stare decisis, the doctrine of precedent, which has been the bedrock for the evolution of the common law. Application of the laws of the land must occur, in the words of the judicial oath you have just taken, without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and therefore without recourse to the political, religious, or ethnic affiliations of any citizen of the land. When a person falls foul of the law, we expect the person will be dealt with accordingly, and the law enforcement agencies, including the Superior Courts of Judicature, must ensure this is done.
President Akufo-Addo there. Now, falling in love with someone you intend to marry comes with unexplained emotions. When the person you love, however, disappoints you, all sorts of ideas run through your mind. On the Super Morning Show today, some callers shared their broken heart stories.
We had the perfect relationship. This guy just changed, and he was like, there's nothing wrong, everything is fine. So Saturday morning, he drives by my house, and I see glitter stuck on the car seat. And I was like, what's going on? there's nothing. I just went out with somebody else and it's over. And I said, who is this person? And he said, well, it's the girl that braids your hair. I was like, you're kidding me. Now, this is happening in London. I nearly died. I could not eat for like a week. My recovery was I had to go and buy Walkman. And I'm singing any gospel song that I can find for like 2 months.
There's this girl I've known for 2 years now. She told me she's pregnant for me. I just found out from the mom that someone has come to perform knocking or something. Almost 3.5 years now. But this girl that I confide in has let me down, so I can't sleep. I'm very down, and she still insists I'm the one who made her pregnant. I feel like I'm betrayed.
We had a perfect relationship. Then just one Sunday afternoon after church, I visited his friend. He just left me out there like an item. So I called my guy out and he was like, oh, they are eating. So, wow. I traveled all the way from Teshi to Nima. How I got back home was a miracle. And I was then in my 3rd year. I flopped all my papers. So I had to write them in the final year.
Well, heartbreak stories there on the Super Morning Show. And it's now time for some Champions League action.
Well,
it's packed.
Well, broken hearts are not giving.
Yeah, well, and then
especially for those of us who are neutral.
Champions League is the perfect ground for broken hearts. In fact, the most painful, broken heart I've had was football related. And I couldn't leave my room for a whole week. Look, that's when I started disinvesting
from football,
from Manchester United, because now when I'm watching, I have this psychological position. It's okay, when we lose, okay, At that time, we didn't anticipate. That's the 2011 final with Barcelona. They didn't even just score, so they tore us into shreds. Goodness me. And well, there is some very interesting games tonight. There are some very interesting games tonight.
There are indeed, and the one we are picking is Manchester City versus Real Madrid as the Champions League returns to Joy FM. I mean, we've been waiting for the rest of the world for COVID to, how do I put it? For COVID to subside a bit, for us to continue with our lives.
This is the first day back.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
For the Champions League.
But that makes it sweeter.
It does indeed. And what makes it even more entertaining and exciting potentially is the fact that this Champions League finale will not be the usual, once a week stuff. It's basically like a mini league or Africa Cup of Nations, because there's a game today, there's a game tomorrow, there's a game next week, Wednesday, Thursday, and then there's Friday and Saturday. Yes, and then the following week goes until Sunday. So from today the 7th until the 23rd, we have Champions League games here. All the games will start build-ups at 6:30 like this, and kickoffs will be at 7 p.m. So it's a festival of football with Joy Sports, and it's in partnership, obviously, with DSTV and GoTV.
My only disappointment is that I'm not home, seated behind my TV with some popcorn in hand, and let's enjoying the game. Now I'm working. Oh goodness me! But I'm going to listen. By the way, that's the beauty of radio.
Exactly.
Work at the same time.
28 minutes to 7 here on Joy 99.7 FM. Many thanks to the Newsnight crew and